Okay, we're going to be skipping lesson 2, which is volume of a triangular prism, because we don't cover that anymore. And we're going to go to the surface area of a rectangular prism. So, when we found the regular area, that was of a 2D shape. Now, surface area is going to be the flat surfaces of a rectangular prism. So, one way you can do that is you can cut it out and look at the net of it. And the net just is like if you cut a box up and laid it flat on the ground to see the area. So we have the bottom, the front, the back, the side, and the top. This one right here is the length, the height, and then the width is right here. So you can always look back on that to see if you have trouble figuring out what is what. The formula for it is surface area is 2LH plus 2LW plus 2HW. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize it because you'll get to use your notes on the test. But you'll probably have it memorized by the end of the chapter. Great thing about surface area is we get to use a handy-dandy calculator now to help us plug it in. So let's take a look at this first one to see how they plug things in. The front and the back. So we have these two sides. We're going to be taking 8 times 6. And then multiply it by 2 because it's 2LH. And so you'd end up getting all these numbers. That's how they solved it. But I want to jump in right to the first one so you can see what's happening. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to figure out which number is the L, which one's the H, and which one is the W. So if I look up here, this right here is the length, so let's match that up. So this right here would be the length, so the length is 15. The height, as it says right here, is right here and here. So we go down here, and we see that it's 10. The width is along the side, so we go to the side, and we see that it's also 10. Okay, now we're just going to plug these numbers in the formula. And let's write our formula so we get our point for that. So surface area equals 2LH plus 2LW plus 2HW. Now we're just going to plug our numbers in. So we have 2 times L, which is 15, times H is 10. And then we have 2 times L, which is 15, times W, which is 10, and 2 times H, which is 10, times W, which is 10. So we're just going to use our handy-dandy calculator. We're going to multiply those out. So I'm going to take 2 times 15 times 10, and I get 300. And the next one is 2 times 15 times 10. So you're also going to get 300. And the last one, instead of 15 in the middle, it's going to be a 200. And the last thing that we need to do, because these are addition signs between them, we need to add 300 plus 300, which is 600, plus 200 is 800 inches squared. We're squaring it because we're back to area. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to figure out which one is the length, the height, and the width, and you're going to plug those numbers in. Then you're going to plug the numbers into the formula. Use your calculator to multiply. After you have the 3, you're going to add them together. Okay, let's look over here at this side. We have 1, 2, 3 problems to do. If you run out of space, you can always get an extra sheet of paper to write on. So I'm going to do that to start off on this one so it doesn't get messy so you can see what we're doing. Okay, first thing we're going to look here. We have a 3, a 4, and a 2. So length, height, and width. My length is 4. My height is 2. And my width is 3. Now, if you put those numbers in the wrong order, you'll end up getting the same exact thing. No worries. Now we're going to write our formula. Surface area equals 2LH plus 2LW plus 2HW. Now we're going to plug our numbers in. So I have 2 times L, which is 4, times H, which is 2. Then I have 2 times L, which is 4 again, times W, which is 3. And then our last one, 2 times H is 2, times W is 3. I'm not going to use my calculator on this because these are easy to do. We have 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. And then 4 times 3 is 12. We're going to add those together. So we have 16 plus 24 plus 12. And we get 52. If I look at my label, it's going to be meters squared. So to get full points, you have to write the formula. You have to write these 3 things to plug your numbers in. And then you have to have the correct answer with the label. If you don't have the label, I will be counting it wrong. Let's look at the next one. I like it when they're not cut up. I find them easier to be working with. This next one does have decimals in it, but don't let that scare you because you have your calculator. First thing we're going to do is we're going to write length, height, and width. Our length is 10.25. Our height is 6.5. And our width is 5. Next, we're going to write our formula. So SA equals 2LH plus 2LW plus 2HW. And now we're going to write our 3 little guys with our formulas plugged in. So each of them are going to start with the 2 because you're going to multiply each by 2 because there's 2 of them. There's a front and a back, a side and a side, and top and a bottom. So length is 10.25 times the height is 6.5. Our next one, we have 2LW. So L is 10.25 again. And W, multiplied, is 5. And then our last one, we have 2 times the height, which is 6.5, times W, which is 5. And I'm just going to use my calculator and plug that in. So 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times 10.25 times 6.5 is 133.25. Then we're going to do 2 times 10.25 times 5, and you should get 102.5. And then our last one, 2 times 6.5 times 5 equals 65. Then we're going to add these 3 numbers together. So I have 65 plus 102.5 plus 133.25. And I'm going to get an answer of 300.75. We're going to look at our label. It's feet. Because it's area, we're squaring it. So 300.75 feet squared. Decimals shouldn't concern you guys anymore because we are using the calculator. So you just need to make sure you're plugging your numbers in correctly. Okay, next one. We're going to figure out length, height, and width. The length is 15. The height is 2. And the width is 7. So the height's the easiest one to find out because it goes up and down. The width is the one that goes backwards. And then the length is the one that's in front. So we have surface area equals 2LH plus 2LW plus 2HW. Okay, then we're going to start off with our 2's. 2 times, 2 times, 2 times. Because we have the front and the back, side and side, top and bottom. So LH is 15 times 2. LW, which is 15 times 7. And HW is 2 times 7. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator. So I have 30 times 2 is 60. 30 times 7 is 210. And 4 times 7 is 28. I'm going to add that all together. And I'm going to get 298 centimeters squared. And that's what you're doing. So, big thing is that when you first do it, you need to figure out which number goes with what letter. Plug your numbers in, multiply with your calculator, then add with your calculator. If you need extra help, make sure you're coming in or you're watching other YouTube videos or Khan Academy.